My name's Dave Dubeau, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey gang, welcome back. Today we've got a real estate investor and a money guy on the call. We've got Dan Cantillana zooming in. He's almost a neighbor of mine. Zooming in from beautiful Spokane, Washington. Absolutely gorgeous part of the country. So Dan, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm excited to be able to share some of my story and hopefully have a great time.
I think we will have a good time, Dan, for sure. So
Absolutely.
you've got a company called Wave Capital Lending. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about what you guys do at Wave.
Well, we help our investors generate wealth, and we even help them do that in their sleep. That's my tagline.
Yeah.
We help high income, high net worth individuals invest in single family mostly, but we do some multifamily commercial. And we basically take their capital and we invest it in off-market properties that we find here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and we purchase those properties at 40, 20%, 20 cents off, or 60, 70% on the dollar. And so their margin of safety is that difference between off-market purchase price and then the ARV, which is after repair value.
So are you the guy that the capital is going to for finding and doing these deals, or are you loaning the money out to flippers and other real estate investors?
That's a great question. Both.
Okay, cool.
Me and my real estate partner, we're gonna flip 30 to 40 houses this year.
Nice.
And so in order to do that, we need about $10 million in capital to flip the properties. Now, with that being said, we also have people that I call retail. We do lend to retail investors that have the same model as us. But currently, over the last year and a half, I've raised $9 million.
Nice.
And the goal is very proud of that. The goal is to raise 20 million. So 10 million for my real estate partner and I. He's been flipping properties since 1996, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been to a few cycles. I've been heavy into it for about 8 years. I've been in the financial and insurance sector for over 20 years, 2 decades. So
Yeah.
if you do the mental math there, that means that I had the experience of the Great Recession, and I
Mhm.
also had the experience of the pandemic. And
Yeah.
you definitely learn a lot about yourself and your team during those things. And so that expertise I get to bring, basically a glorified underwriter. I don't look like an underwriter, but that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a background in insurance and stuff, so yeah, you know your numbers and dot the
Yeah.
T's, dot the I's, cross the T's, all that kind of good stuff. So, Dan, tell me a little bit about your flipping business, and we'll talk about the lending business because that's always fascinating. If you're doing 30 or 40 deals a year, plus you're doing the capital raising, how do you guys do that? Do you have multiple teams? Do you subcontract stuff out? Or is this all local? Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about your flipping business.
So we primarily invest in Spokane County, which is obviously where Spokane is, and then Kitsap County, which is, basically an hour ferry ride from Seattle. These are high growth areas. And so when I talk to new potential investors, they can't believe often that we can find properties at 50 to 60% of value that somebody would want to offload. So I went to school to be a teacher. I used to be a fourth grade teacher, Dave. So I love teaching. And I said, well, you know what? I used to think that too, but then I got into the game, and let me tell you, 6 to 10% of all property owners and or houses are in distress in any
And
given
what is
market.
that? What does that mean? What does distress
Distress
mean?
means they need to sell quickly, or they're just completely tired of the property, which
Mhm.
usually looks like they're tired of the tenant. And
Mhm.
so they're either tired of the property, they're tired of the tenant, or they just need to sell. And, if people want to know more about that, they can go to my website. I'd love to go do a call, but I can tell you it's real. So we source properties, and that's where I actually spend the majority of my time talking to investors. This is how we source the property, because it's very difficult to believe that an appreciating asset somebody would sell at 60% of value, but they do because they need the money.
So how do you
Or,
source the properties?
yeah, wonderful. First and foremost, we source them through direct mail. I know it's
Okay.
2025, but we do direct mail. I sold direct mail for 4 years from 2000 to 2004. Very efficient and proficient with direct mail. Quick story.
Yeah.
We did
I
direct
love
mail
direct mail.
piece,
Yeah.
direct mail, 2600 piece mailer, just really in my most popular zip codes. 5 phone calls, 2 closed deals. One of them, a tax assessed value was $170,000. We bought it for $60,000.
Wow. That's a home run.
Home run, right?
Double home run on 2,500 or whatever the mail out was
Right.
for
And
sure.
then the other one, we just, I do a little bit of wholesaling. And so then we just wholesaled it. Wholesaled it. We made our 12 grand and we moved on. So first and foremost, we do direct mail. We also buy from wholesalers who that's their profession, right?
Yeah.
They love working with me because if I tell them I'm going to buy it, I buy it. I've never backed out of a deal. If I tell them I'm buying it, I'm buying it. They
Yeah.
want the path of least resistance. They know I have millions of dollars, so they go to me first. Next is pay per click. And then we also do a little bit of search engine optimization. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I kind of feel like it's Wizard of Oz and Oz is behind the curtain. They're not telling me
Yeah.
anything. I get direct mail and I get people. And so that's what we focus on. And
Yeah.
then, and also in addition to that, realtors. I just gave a presentation to 22 Keller Williams real estate agents here in Spokane, and they thought I was there in regards to private money and insurance, but really I was there for business development, which I won't get into. And so I just really enjoy sourcing the deals, and then we allocate the funds and we put it in the deals. I also own a construction company because
I
four
was going
years
to
ago
ask
I
you, how are you doing all these flips? So you got the
yeah,
construction side
because
going. Okay.
4 years ago I just got tired of waiting for people, and I drive by the site, nobody would be there, and I'm like, this is not how to run a business.
Yeah.
So I have 2 crews, and we're licensed, we're bonded, we do all the permitting, we're legit, we stay forward, we got to play by the rules, and
Yeah.
so it's worked out really well for us. And so currently, right now, I'm working on 6 properties. So I have two of my own crews, and then I sub out with 2 other general contractors as well.
So what is
And
it? What does
so
your partner do? It sounds like you're doing all the lead gen, the negotiation, the construction side. What is the partner
well,
doing all this?
yeah, well, he's an amazing man, I can tell you that. He is over in Kitsap County, and he's been doing it since 1996. So he has a wonderful lead source, and his son that works for him is fantastic. He gets pre-foreclosure lists, he goes down to the auction, they buy from wholesalers. And so he basically sends me the purchase and sell, and then I go to work on the financing side. So he has his own crews over there, he has his own network over there. Like I said, he's been doing it since 1996. I've been in Spokane here since 2010. And so, I'm not, haven't been around as long as he has. And so
Mhm.
he's, that guy, Dave, who's the smartest man in the room.
Yeah.
That's him.
Not
That's
me.
him. That's my partner. I mean, he is the smartest man in the room. And
Nice.
I really enjoy working with him. We've known each other for over 17 years. And so it's just been a really great partnership.
Okay, so well, thanks for explaining the flip side of things. Now, tell me a little bit about the whole capital side of things as well, because that's a whole other business. That's a whole other kettle of fish. So you got to be doing different kind of lead generation and presentations and all that kind of good stuff. So tell me a little bit. First of all, when did you start the capital business, and what are you finding is most effective for you for finding investors for that business?
Wonderful. So there's a book out there called The Power of Who. I'd really encourage people to get that book. And I'll
I've
loop
heard of who not
Bob
how. I
Bodine.
don't.
That
What's that?
the Power of Who.
Yeah, I've heard of who not how, but I haven't heard of the power of who. So,
Yeah, Bob Bodine, he's amazing, man.
okay.
So I believe that's the name of it, The Power of Who. In fact, I know it is because the book changed my life. But so, I've been flipping and all that stuff for like 7, 8 years. I was using a private money company here in town. They do a fantastic job. My wife loves yard work. I can't stand it. I got a family text that we were going to have a family work party that weekend, and I was like, great. So I show up Friday, and the biggest pile of beauty bark had been delivered to our driveway. And I'm like, okay. And I said, well, I'm going to do that because I don't want to dig up trees because I've never dug a hole where it's supposed to be when it comes to our own landscaping. And so I about ready did the beauty bark, and I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm going to make this an educational experience. So I literally went to podcasts and I typed in raising private money. This guy, Jay Connor, pops up. Never heard of him
Mhm.
before in my life. I listened to him for 4 hours. I bought his book. I read it twice. I was like, I can do this. So I just started because of one of my businesses. I know a lot of baby boomers that have been in the insurance world and other businesses for 20, 30
Mhm.
years. They have a lot of dry powder, a lot of capital. and they get real estate. And so I just started calling my sphere of influence, right? And I said, hey, listen, like I'm saying in this podcast, I'm finding these properties with a 40, 50% discount. Our average note's 220,000. Our average cost for renovation is anywhere from 40 to 80. And we sell it for 389 to 420. Are you in? And they said, absolutely. And so I just started doing these notes, and that was 2 years ago. And one of my mentors, a dear friend of mine, Bruce, he called me and he said, hey, you should really start a fund. All these guys are accredited investors. So I can help both. I can help accredited investors and I can help private investors. And so I started the fund process, which that took forever.
Yeah.
Got through that, and yeah, and so it just grew. And so I don't advertise in the sense of I don't, do pay per click or direct mail or any of that on the private money side. And it just grows because we give double digit returns. We give 10% simple interest. You do a 30-day deposit, 30 days later, you're going to get 10% check in the mail. And I write the checks. I'm the president. I write the checks because I love writing checks to my investors. And so that's how I raised the 9 million. I just started calling people, letting them know what I do. Because of some different businesses that I have, I've had opportunities to present at seminars for people
Mhm.
that want to make money in their sleep. And I tend to give an okay presentation, I think. And I really enjoy working with my 22 investors. I do videos, I do Dan Can musing texts, I do reports because they just love the story because every one of these houses have a story. And so it's
Yeah.
like a little dopamine endorphin hit when they see, oh my gosh, Dan's doing this again. And so I just really enjoy it. The goal is 20 million, right?
Yeah.
And so I basically have to double what I've done, but I've only been doing it for a year and a half. So that's how I've been able to source the funds is through my sphere and through referrals. A lot of people will enjoy cashing a check, or literally this happened. My second largest investor was in Sun Valley, and I sent him a fun Dan Can musings, and he just started laughing. And then his daughter asked him, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "Oh, this guy Dan Can, he's so fantastic." He's like, "What does he do?" He's like, "Oh, well, he does. He gives me 10% interest on my money." And she's like, "Well, I want in." So he referred
Awesome.
her to me. I'm
Yeah.
talking to her, and she said, "Wait," she's in Orlando, Florida, and she said, "Wait a minute. If I give you $120,000 in 30 days, you're going to give me a check for $1,000." I said, "Exactly." She said, "Dan, I'm
Hopefully $121,000.
yeah." So said, "Hey, totally." So she said, "Well, wait a minute. I'm involved in this apartment complex deal up in New York. I've been involved with it for 14 months. I have yet to see a penny." I go, "Well, that's not us. You get 10%, you get that on
Yeah,
the money. There you
that's
go."
a syndication. That's a different kettle of
Y-
fish for sure.
Oh, totally. And there's value in those and all that great stuff. But that's how I've grown, is basically by calling people that I know and then getting referrals.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, you were given all the business to a private lender, a hard money lender before. It just makes a ton of sense to create your own funding for this and bring your own investors. You got a great sphere and you're able to get the money a heck of a lot cheaper than getting it from somebody else, and you're able to get them a great return and cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of our notes are first position.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they need to be for sure. Dan, this is good stuff. I'm sure some folks are going to want to connect with you and find out more. What's the best way for them to do that?
If they would be so kind to visit my website, it's a fun little website. It's called Invest with Dan Can. So Invest with Dan Can, DANCAN. And there is a wonderful opportunity to sign up for a webinar, or you could just fill out the form. And I will gladly love to have a conversation and show them a little bit more about what we do. Uh, Most investors want to know, okay, that's great. You can get the property, you have the financing, but what are your exit strategies? And
Mhm.
that's the beauty about working with me and Kevin. We have so many exit strategies. First and foremost, we want to sell the property for a profit. That's the first one. Secondly, we can refi. If that doesn't work, we can refi and make it a rental. I have plenty of rentals here in Spokane. Thirdly, if we bought right, we can just wholesale it for a profit. Fourth, we could just sell it for a loss. I can tell you the 7 years, 8 years I've been doing this, my investors, all of them, including the hard money company, all the original capital was returned and all of the profit interest was paid.
Very good. Awesome, Dan. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.